surf, sun, fun. We're celebrating summer in the Ocean State. The Road Show Summer Stars starts now.
You really ought to make a cologne that smells like lemonade, buddy.
Look at that. Pack a lunch.
Because we are going to Rhode Island.
You can see everything.
Stand back.
We are here at Dell's Lemonade World Corporate Headquarters.
Just kind of slide that right open. Just let it flow.
We dip these babies right in this harissa and honey, and think about it.
Beautiful.
Grilled wings are so much healthier for you.
Can I please have a small lemonade?
And I looked and I looked and I looked and then finally realized that they were rocking horses.
It's the oldest operating carousel in the United States, and it's located right here in Watts Hill. Hop aboard the Flying Horse Carousel.
This is good corn oil. We make it with the finest WD-40.
Only in Rhode Island.
Only in Rhode Island.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us tonight for our last Summer Stars of the season. Doesn't seem possible.
No way. And you know what? We're going out with a bang. This theme is only in Rhode Island. From the food to the places to the activities, things that are so quintessential Lil Rhodey.
Absolutely, and we love it all. Some fun stuff that we've actually never done before as well.
Yeah, and you know what? We're a small state. But man, do we pack a big punch.
We really do.
There's a lot here, and I feel like anytime you have friends from out of town, you want to show it off.
Absolutely, we do. Now, I love that we're able to get to check out some places that we've never been able to experience before right here in our small state, some of which we've never actually been to before.
Yeah, and actually our first spot we both experienced for the first time together. Lifelong Rhode Islanders, never been, and trust me, you're going to want to go too.
I am so excited to have you here on Rhode Island.
We're excited to be here.
Oh my gosh.
Timers.
Rhode Island is a beautiful little gem here in Narragansett Bay. It's about 18 acres around.
And boy, does it have a lot.
It looks like a postcard.
This was the barracks, again, built in 1798, originally to house soldiers, but then during the World Wars, the Navy stored torpedo explosives in here.
The star of the show really is the lighthouse.
Absolutely.
Can we go up there, check it out?
Let's go check it out.
Okay.
Step inside and step back in time.
You're gonna need one of those.
Excuse me for just a moment.
Be right back.
That was the coolest. Look at that. It's like Little Roadshow on the Prairie.
Before this was built, there was a fog bell that actually had to be rung.
Now it's just a room to spend the night. No foghorn and no light in the lighthouse.
It was finished and lit in 1870, and it stayed that way for over 100 years. Yep. Until that big, beautiful bridge over there was built. And at night, we all know it's lit up. It's beautiful. They didn't need a lighthouse anymore.
Thankfully, one group came together.
So that was when it was actually in a lot better shape.
It's improved so much, you can stay here.
They come out on our boat Starfish, just like you did. Then Chris comes back and gets them at 10 o'clock the next morning.
You're very close.
You look so close. You can see everything.
One more step and you're at the top.
Feel that breeze.
This is so beautiful.
Only in Rhode Island. Just be sure to leave your mark before you go. What a beautiful place. I mean, talk about a hidden gem. You might sail around it or go by it. Definitely worth a stop.
Yeah, it really was. And when you get to the top there, that view was absolutely so beautiful. Just it was one of those breathtaking moments that you get here in Rhode Island.
And Brendan is checking out a classic of his own. Let's take a look.
Thank you, guys. When you think only in Rhode Island, you have to think Dell's Lemonade. We are here at the World Corporate Headquarters, learning how it all comes together.
This is basically where everything takes place as far as all of our Dell's stores, the product that they sell. This is where we put all of the ingredients into and mix it. Water and sugar and whatever other ingredients will go in here to make whichever flavor we're going to make to start with.
And today, hang on, I'm going to use my powers right now to determine it smells like cherry.
It'll be cherry. It better be cherry. Our next stop is in what we call our bottling room, where we're going to fill the tank with product, and then our machine will turn on. It's a 9-head filler, and we will bottle this through the machine into the bottles, and then caps will go on, and then into our refrigeration area.
This is hurting my back. Where do you want it, sir?
Right on the right here will be fine.
A lovely setting.
And that's it right there. Just put it right down.
Nice and easy.
And that's good. Perfect.
Exhausted. I gotta say, this entire room smells delightful. You really ought to make a cologne that smells like Bell's lemonade, buddy.
We should try to do something like that, right?
Do you think I'm ready to work the window with the ladies?
Now you're ready to go to the window.
Yes, I'm rolling on over to the service window. A little later, I'll be getting behind the counter and serving them up. You don't want to miss it. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Brendan. I could sure go for a nice cup of Dell's lemonade right now. It's a Rhode Island classic. Speaking of classics, our friend, comedian Andrew Williams, joins us now to talk a little bit about some Rhode Islandisms.
Am I a classic? Am I becoming a, am I a classic?
You are now. We're enjoying the summer. Summer, I'm sure, has been great.
Summer's
for a lot of
great,
people.
right? As a stand-up comic, it gives me a little downtime, which is exciting. And how lucky am I that I live in one of the greatest states in the country, I think, in Little Rhodey. But I've been doing lots of stuff. I've been trying to get to the beach, which no matter where you live, I feel like, don't you feel like there's always something that snags going to the beach for you?
Yes.
It doesn't always go smoothly, right? And it's me. I'm a single guy. I don't have children, thank God. But it's just myself, and there's always a problem. So first, I was trying to make my way over to the Newport beaches. You know, I was on the famous crash of 2017, the Providence to Newport ferry.
Oh,
yeah, I was. It hit a buoy, by the way. It hit a buoy, and it just derailed the system for half the summer.
Typical.
But you know, it was fine, and so that didn't work out for me. I've been trying to drive into different beaches. I got lost last week on the Wampanoag Rotary for only an hour and a half, so that wasn't too bad. But that was a disaster. So I like to spend some time in Newport. You let you go to Newport in the summer?
Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
It's too full of tourists, so do you not mind that?
It depends.
It's tough, right? Like, I like to go on there for the night. I was actually there a couple nights ago. I'm having dinner, and it's just funny, the mentality of people where we're from, right? And I start talking to a table of ladies next to me, and they're excited. They're on vacation. They're like, oh, it's so nice to get away. We're here vacationing. We packed everything up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, where are you guys from? We're from Cranston. You drove 35 minutes. You can't call it vacation when you're only driving 35 minutes somewhere. Like, I feel like when you're vacationing, you're truly traveling, you're packing, you're saying goodbye, I'm out of town. Like, they dealt with a lane closure on the Newport Bridge. That's the only thing that they did to go on vacation.
It's Rhode Island. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know. It's just been one thing after another for me. I was on Watch Hill, and I was digging for coal hogs, which I love. It makes stuffies. Yeah. Right?
Who doesn't?
And what did I found a spaceship in the water, and I'm the one. By now, you guys are gonna know the whole thing with that. But I discovered that spaceship. Okay, I was gonna cash in on that.
Well, you'll have to cash in on that. We'll have to leave that for another day. All right, as he does that, let's take a look at some events to bank on. Tomorrow night after the Paw Sox game, check out Taylor Swift post-game fireworks at McCoy. Then on Saturday night, enjoy Brew at the Zoo at Roger Williams Park. Complete your weekend at Slater Mill for Sam's Mill Fest, which offers live music, food trucks, and local artwork right in downtown Pawtucket. And for the scoop on all events happening in our area, download our free app, The Road Show on the Go.
It has a history dating back as far as the Native Americans, and also has become a breakfast staple right here in Rhode Island. We headed out to see how they blend the Johnny Cake mix. This room hasn't changed, you said, since 1886?
1886. They built this building to replace two other mills that sat on the other side of the dam. One was in 1711 it was built, and the previous one was built in 1696.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a neat old site. It gives us the distinction of being the second oldest continually operating business in the state, second only to the White Horse Tavern.
Johnny Cakes, is it an only in Rhode Island thing?
Well, it was a very colonial dish to begin with.
The corn is ground between two Wellesley granite stones.
The wheat that I can grind is just phenomenal. The texture I can get, and it makes a very unique grind of white cornmeal. You just kind of slide that right open. There you go. And just let it flow. you'll see this top stone is going to begin to spin. Right. And this corn is stuffed up in this piece. This is called the shoe. That allows us to adjust how fast the grain drops into the millstone. You feel it kind of go between your fingers? Right. And that's really, we check the textures between your fingers. Right?
Years ago, when the Indians taught the settlers what to do with the corn, first they taught them how to grow it, and once they harvested it, then they taught them how to make this Johnny cake. You can eat it like porridge, you can eat it like cereal, any way you want.
Like this way, you don't even have to heat it.
That's good. Now, it's very important. I put the corn oil down before. This is good corn oil. We make it with the finest WD-40.
You know, you want people to come here.
I was only kidding about the corn oil.
After a little sizzle on the grill, add some whipped butter, and they're ready to go.
Ooh, that's excellent.
Very good, huh?
Nice job. Here's to you. I want some now. Awesome. This is really, really good. Now, not only do they make the mix for those Johnny cakes at Kenyon's, but they also make the mix for batter that you're going to use to make clam cakes as well.
Very cool.
Yeah, delicious.
All right, still to come tonight on the Road Show Summer Stars. We are flying now. I'm headed over to the very first carousel in the country, which is located right here in Little Rhodey.
And only in Rhode Island, when you hear someone order 2 all the way, we're going to check out some other Rhode Islandisms in our funny little state.
And as we head to break, we've got some Tarbox Trivia for you. Here is a pretty easy question for all you Rhode Islanders watching. What is Rhode Island's official state drink? We'll have the answer when we come back.
Back now with more The Road Show Summer Stars, presented by Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses.
Before the break, we asked you to name the official state drink of Rhode Island. It is a classic beverage.
That's right. It is coffee milk, or as we say, coffee milk here in Rhode Island. And if you don't know that, you need to leave immediately because everybody knows that. It's actually one of my favorites. Drink made by mixing coffee syrup and milk together, kind of like chocolate and milk. And it's popular only in Rhode Island, although it is expanding all over the country, I think, now.
It is. All right. Next up, it's a fun activity for kids. It's a tradition that's lasted generations and a national historic landmark. We headed over to Watch Hill for a closer look at the Flying Horse Carousel.
In working on the carousel, we realized it's 150 years old, just about, at this point. We think they're from the 1860s.
And it's provided decades of fun for families.
This carousel was fascinating because when they asked me how to do it, I started looking up all types of carousel horses and I couldn't find anything like it. And I looked and I looked and I looked and then finally realized that they were rocking horses. These were adapted to be a carousel and that they were really kind of the missing link in carousel horses.
The intricate details catch the eye of many.
The eyes are actually a fascinating thing. If you have children that are going on the carousel or you ever look at these up close, these are little sulfide marbles, they call them, and they have little figurines in them.
That is so cool.
Preserving this historic carousel takes a lot of work.
It's kind of like restoring and taking care of a boat. When you pull the leather saddles off, you literally get pints of sand out of everything. So it's not just the kids and the ice cream and the salt weather, it's the sand just gets into everything.
Do you have a favorite horse?
Do I have a favorite horse? Actually, there are a couple of them because they were made by different carvers. And each one has a very different face, which is kind of fun.
The ride is fun too.
There are 2 rows of horses. The inside horses are for the younger children, 2 and 3 years old. Believe it or not, some 2-year-olds do love it. And then the outer horses are for the kids that like to have the thrill of the ride of reaching for the rings.
Grab the brass ring and you'll score a free ride.
This carousel is only for ages 2 to 12, and we kindly suggest under 100 pounds.
Because it is so old and they are suspended.
Right.
Hence the name, the Flying Horse Carousel.
A lot of people get confused when they come and they want to stand with their child or ride with their child and they don't realize that there's no platform. It's actually really neat to see them reach for the ring for the first time. And then when they get that brass ring, because they get very excited, they don't just get excited, their families get excited.
So Such a cute town. And no, I did not see Taylor Swift, but I was looking.
Of course you were, and I don't blame you. We love our quirky little state, and you can check out some more things that you can only see right here in Rhode Island.
It's a classic roadie cabinet like no other. The Awful Awful. Newport Creamery's famous milkshake has its name for its claim of being awful big, awful good. And it's true.
And as you sip on your Awful Awful while driving on 95, you can't miss the Big Blue Bug. Nibbles Woodaway is the giant termite mascot right by the Thurbers Ave curve. And he dresses up for special occasions like the 4th of July, the season opener for the Paw Sox, Halloween, and Christmas.
And after you pass the Big Blue Bug, take a drive over to the famous grave of Mercy Brown at Chestnut Hill Cemetery in Exeter. There lies New England's most famous vampire story, where the family of Mary and George Brown caused widespread panic.
And after a creepy vampire story like that, you may be hungry. So why not dig into some hot wieners? There are plenty of New York system wiener joints throughout Rhode Island. Oneyville is a popular one. This local diner has even won a James Beard Award, which is like the Oscars for food.
Still to come on the Roadshow Summer Stars. It's almost time for dinner, so we're celebrating one final night of grilling with Chef Nick Raybar as we make some chicken wings.
Well, I've learned how they bottle it. Now it's time for me to man the counter. Amanda, Courtney, how do you think I'll do?
Good. I have faith in you.
She has faith. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
We are back outside in the Backyard Barbecue, presented by S&W TV and Appliances. Nick Raybar is here from Avenue N, along with Joe Zito, the TV maitre d', and boy, oh boy, we got a good one.
Great.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got a great one.
Honey harissa wings?
Correct. With a little Roquefort dressing and a little bit of pickled green beans. And Joe, you're on.
Joe does not waste any time at all.
My man gets to work.
He doesn't want to get fired.
I want to eat.
He doesn't want to get fired.
I don't blame you. These are great. So Joe's mixing up this little marinade here with the harissa and soy sauce. And now Joe's going to take a second here with this beautiful honey. And then we're going to put in some rice vinegar. Now,
you know what? We have this here.
One thing to know about wings and grilling wings is that my two tips of the day is toss them with a little bit of salt, pepper, and a little brown sugar before they go on the grill. And let that sit for like 20 minutes. Yeah, whisk it up, boys. Whisk it up.
Whisk it.
And then what that's going to do is that brown sugar is going to caramelize the wings really, really nicely, and it gives it that gorgeous backyard charred wing appeal and look. And the salt's going to actually penetrate into the meat, so it's like and this grill is perfect. It's charring up these wings absolutely flawlessly.
Yeah.
Great recipes need a great grill. We've got a great chef. And S&W TV and Appliance, my friends, the Exeter family, in business, Pawtucket Avenue, East Providence, since 1946. So that says it all right there. And this is a Lynx grill, their Sedona model. They've been making grills since 1996 and beyond, but they're state of the culinary art, and they made their fame with backdoor outdoor kitchens, which is really incredible to this day.
And
so
it's
you've got a match made in heaven. There's a sale going on right now in store at S&W, and you've got 2 more summer stars. You've got Lynx, and you've got the Exeter family and S&W TV and Appliance.
I'm not sure this backyard can handle any more summer stars, but if it can, let's say that these wings are part of that. Okay.
So that's a good tip. So don't put the sauce on until you're ready.
Ready to go, ready to serve, ready to eat. So we dip these babies right in this gorgeous harissa and honey, and the harissa has a nice complex spice portfolio to it.
Good balance
flavor
though,
profile.
with the sweet of the honey.
Correct. These are perfect.
So these won't overpower you with heat, right?
No, they won't overpower you with heat. And look at how simple. I mean, how many ingredients did we do over there, guys? What do we do? Four simple ingredients. Harissa is such a strong, flavor as it is, that you really don't need to throw in, 40 or 50 other things. And think about it.
Beautiful.
Grilled wings are so much healthier for you than deep fat fried wings.
Sure.
And just a touch of that brown sugar.
You can still get that crunch.
Yes. And this is just a different sort of thing. Yeah.
Give it the
hit it up. Get some of that finishing touch on that. And look at this, my buddy Ziggy over at Fox Point Pickles. What goes better than something pickled with these gorgeous
green beans.
So get at it, team.
Nice.
Get at it.
Dig in one of these.
Yeah, I think you really need to dig into one of those because these are a hit.
Diving into the wings, and we'll check back one more time with Brendan.
Thank you guys. Back here at Dell's in Cranston. I think it's time. I got behind the window and went to work. Future Employee of the Year has arrived. We're going to make my favorite flavor, watermelon. What do I do, Joe? What do I do?
All right.
It's my first day. Oh, day Dell's. Just so nice. Only in Rhode Island. Stand back. Oh. How's that for some teamwork, huh?
There you go.
Boom. And now we wait?
Now you got to wait like 15 minutes.
We'll be with you in 15 minutes.
I got to know my new coworkers while we waited.
Out of the flavors, I like the peach mango.
All right, and how about you, Courtney?
Grapefruit.
Grapefruit.
Yeah.
See, do you catch a lot of flack for that?
No, not really. It's
Yeah?
pretty popular. It's becoming. It's an acquired taste.
Acquired.
but-
People say that about me.
Finally, the lemonade was ready. Time to be served.
Can I please have a small lemonade?
We want to be very generous to the loyal Dell's customers.
That was a perfect first try.
Did you say that again?
Perfect first try.
Oh, you're sorry, Courtney. Amanda's my favorite. All right, well, have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Say we love Dell's.
We love Dell.
Well, I've completed my shift. Amanda and Courtney both quit after working with me. I can't imagine why. But you guys will want to check out Dell's this summer. When you think only in Rhode Island, it really begins and ends with Dell's lemonade, the absolute best. Back to you.
So thanks so much, everybody, for joining us this evening and all summer long for the Roadshow Summer Stars.
Yes, our series of Summer Stars may be over, but the fun doesn't end. You can catch the Roadshow every morning at 9 a.m. over on our sister station, WPRI 12.
And as always, if you want more information about anything you did see tonight, you can head on over to our website, roadshow.com.
Have a great night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.